Hi everyone, and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today we are going to be making cinnamon heart sandwich cookies. These are perfect for Valentine's Day. They are so good and pretty simple and easy to put together. You are going to love them. So let's go over the ingredients we are going to be needing for our cookie dough. So what I have here is some butter, which needs to be softened at room temperature. Here we have some flour, salt, and baking powder, some sugar, an egg, milk, vanilla extract, and we're going to be needing some candy sugar, like the red sugar. You can use pink as well. You can use whatever color you like, but because it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to be using the red. Once we are done making our cookies and they have completely cooled, we are going to be making a cinnamon heart filling, which is delicious and to die for, and you are going to love it. But for now, let's move on to making our cookies. Okay, so into our mixing bowl with our paddle attachment, we are going to add our softened butter and our sugar, and we are going to whip these ingredients for a couple of minutes until they are a nice creamy texture. Okay, so my ingredients mixed here for 2 minutes on medium to high speed. Now we will add in our egg, and make sure you're just scraping bottom and sides of your bowl as you go along so everything is getting mixed well together. And now I'm going to add in my egg, and we are going to whisk probably for another 30 seconds to a minute, and then I will show you the next step. Now we will add in our milk and vanilla and give it another quick mix. Okay, so we are ready to add in our dry ingredients, which is our flour, salt, and baking powder. Just before I add it in, I'm just going to give it a little whisk here, just a little mix before adding it in. And then we will add it into our batter, and we will mix just until combined, until you no longer see any flour. Okay, so our cookie dough looks great. Now what I'm going to do is sprinkle a small amount of flour on my counter, and I'm going to form 2 discs with my dough, and then we are going to refrigerate our dough for at least 1 hour. Okay, so my cookie dough was in the fridge for 1 hour, and now what we have here is some all-purpose flour, just so we can sprinkle our counter and roll out our cookie dough. You want to roll out your cookie dough until it is about 1/8 of an inch thickness. And you also want to have some cookie sheets that have been lined with some parchment paper and ready to go. And of course, I'm going to be using some heart cookie cutters because I am making these for Valentine's Day, but you can make any shape that you like. It is completely up to you. And you want to make sure your cookie cutter is about 2 inches wide. Now, with that size of cookie cutter, I know your cookies will bake from about 5 to 8 minutes. So if you're making a larger one or a smaller one, just keep in mind that the baking time will differ, so from size to size. And that's pretty much it. You want to have your oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to do that now, and then I am going to bake my cookies, and I will show you what they look like when they're done and how long they were in the oven for. Okay, so each disc of dough gave me 24 cookies. As you can see here, I have a couple of trays ready. Now, in total, you will have 48 cookies, which will give you 24 heart sandwiches. So that's what we will have in the end. And now when rolling out your dough, you just want to make sure that you sprinkle enough flour, just not too much flour. We will be placing some red sugar as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, on top of our cookies. Now, because we are going to be making sandwich cookies, we are going to be placing the sugar just on half of our cookies. So you want to sprinkle some on top, but you don't want to put too much. So just a small amount. Now we are ready to bake our cookies, as I mentioned, at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for around 5 to 8 minutes. You will notice that the edges are becoming a light golden brown, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done and how long mine were in the oven for. Okay, so I made 2 sizes of cookies here. I did mention before that I used the 2-inch heart-shaped cookie cutter, and I also used one that was just less than 1 inch width, and it gave me this size of cookies here. Very cute, very adorable. And now the larger cookies baked at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 minutes, and the small ones baked at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes. So just keep an eye on it, and every oven varies, so just every once in a while take a look, make sure they're not getting too dark or that they don't burn, and everything will work out. Now we're going to work on our filling. Now you will need a small to medium saucepan, and the ingredients we are going to need here are, first of all, some cinnamon hearts, which you can find in many places right now at this time of year. You're going to need some butter, some icing sugar or powdered sugar, and just some water, and that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my ingredients over to my stove, and we are going to place our cinnamon hearts and our water in our saucepan, and we are going to allow them to melt and come up to a boil. Once they have come up to a boil, we will reduce the heat and bring it down to a simmer, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so our mixture has come up to a boil here. Now you want to reduce this to a simmer and leave it simmering for 3 minutes. So my mixture has already been simmering here for 3 minutes. Now you want to make sure that you continuously stir throughout these 3 minutes. And now what I'm going to do is remove my mixture here off of my stove, and we are going to add in our butter and then our icing sugar, and we are going to whisk until we have a nice smooth consistency. Okay, so my filling is done, as you can see. It is a nice thick consistency. Now when adding in your icing sugar or powdered sugar, you want to make sure that you add it in gradually and keep mixing as you go along until you have the consistency that you want. I will leave the full recipe in the description box there for you, so you know exactly what I used and have an idea for it. And now we are ready to build our cookies, and then we will be ready to try them. Okay, so when we build our sandwich cookies, of course you want to have the one without the sugar on the bottom, and then about 1 teaspoon of filling is good. Okay, all right. And then you place, let's choose this one here. You place it on top, the one with the sugar, and just press gently. These are just perfect. The cookies are buttery and delicious, just like a shortbread cookie. The filling is perfection, and they are just wonderful. You really need to give these a try. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a nice big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new and delicious recipe. Share the recipe with your family and friends, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The links will be in the description box below along with the recipe. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye everyone.